back here on the show. Hopefully, it works itself out. I am still recording, so this will be put out on YouTube if you see the segment. But I will continue with the Dallas Cowboys topic I was mentioning. The rumors around Micah Parsons that have swirled up after this interview that happened with Sean Sharif, in which he said, I'm talking about at least 4 different people who have told me that Micah has worn thin there. I don't know how much is true and how much it actually hurts. I don't know whether this is behavior of a typical superstar. I don't know how demanding it is, but all I know is this. I've heard from way too many people that if Micah Parsons was out there, there would be a decent amount of people inside the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco smiling or breathing a sigh of relief. Not really the kind of reception you get with one of your star players, one of your more impactful players, and really you could make a good argument the face of that franchise and how they are portrayed and how people look at them in the organization, how much he impacts winning. And I know Micah's known for speaking out with his own podcast that he has in the media. He's been critical with analysts who have talked about him. The Cowboys are everywhere in the news, so you have ESPN, Fox, all the networks talking about them constantly, especially when the regular season starts. They already talk about him a lot in the offseason. Once the regular season starts and something goes bad call, bad game plan, anything, they're on the Cowboys. So he's been known to calling them out, talking about it, reacting to some of the things that are said to them on TV. Everyone seeing that is giving him the narrative of all these actions as a distraction. Really, this offseason, I've seen it a lot more on ESPN, mostly that when people see these sort of things, they see Micah talk on his podcast and react to some of these things. They see it as a distraction that he should stop. He shouldn't speak. They haven't said it, but almost in a way of them saying he shouldn't talk too much, really shouldn't react and say how he feels that much. And the biggest takeaway I have with people reacting to this, painting it in a negative way, I do see it in some way when maybe if he's trying to compare players to his own players, say someone's getting on Dak Prescott and he reacts to that, he can't go on his podcast and say, oh, well, he's playing better than this guy because so, and so. Comparing them and saying one player is better than another, that's not your job. That's an analyst's job. That's for analysts on TV personalities to debate that, discuss that. I see where that can be a negative thing for the Cowboys and what they're trying to do. But when he's going out, you saw it when they lost to the Packers, going out and saying that performance was embarrassing. He wants to see new people in the locker room, people that want to win, people that are committed to getting better and getting over this hump that they've been stuck on for the longest time. Going on and saying stuff like that, being critical to some extent of the decisions that coaching makes and stuff like that, I have no problem with any of that. And if Micah and that irks people the wrong way, rubs people the wrong way in the Cowboys organization, the bigger thing that I think we should be talking about is that being the problem really with the Cowboys is they have a problem within their organization of someone calling the team out, calling the coaches out, holding them accountable for performances like the Packers and even before then against the Niners and so on and so on. If they have a problem with someone really being brutally honest about that, that's the problem to me, not Micah going on and being really one of the only players that I've seen really go at his own team, trying to force a change, being frustrated, showing that he's frustrated, trying to change this whole narrative around the Cowboys because it really looks like it bothers him. He really looks that he is annoyed by it. Dak too, to some extent, but I think Dak and Micah, different levels, right? Micah is considered one of the best quarterbacks. Dak is or best pass rushers with Micah. Dak is considered a really good quarterback, but he just almost shrinks at times in the playoffs. You could say the same for Micah Parsons, but I think Micah has shown more star potential, more game impact potential recently, more than Dak. So Micah coming out and really trying to be that leader, showing face, showing up in front of all the critics and answering back, defending his team, talking out, speaking out on his own team's performances. I don't think that's a bad thing. And if people in the organization think that's a bad thing, that's really the problem with the Cowboys. If they're bothered by someone calling them out, that has to be the thing that changed. Holding themselves accountable is one of the reasons why I think they haven't been so successful. Not that they just brush it off and they act like they don't care. They are annoyed, but no one's going out and talking about it like as much as Micah Parsons, and I'm a fan of that. I like seeing it. This has been painted in a way that it seems too radical, too crazy to even think that anybody in the organization might think this is true or might have this sort of feeling. But again, this is one of the flagship radio stations. Jerry Jones appears on this station twice per week. So, if it's coming from them, if they're kind of talking about it, discussing it, you have to take it a little bit like it's reality, like it could be a real possibility. And that's how I'm taking it. I don't want to believe it's true. I really don't want to believe it's true, because then it creates another problem that just takes away from football, which is what the Cowboys just have to focus on. But the biggest thing that I'm thinking, just reacting to this, is that this should not be the problem with a player calling out his own team, being critical of it. If some players have to go, that's evident. People have said it. Now Micah's saying that some people just have to go. They have to get new people in there. That is not a problem to me. Micah is trying to change something about it. Could he do it a different way? Maybe, but I don't see a way where he doesn't show this frustration after so many years of being right there and then just falling short. He's showing that. I think that it should be taken in a bit different light. It's hard for people to see that, but I think with Micah doing this, I don't have a problem with it. I think he shouldn't do it more. Maybe not do it as much in the off season where people just have nothing to talk about and they'll pick apart whatever you say. But I'm a fan of Micah holding this team accountable. There needs to be more of that, and having this player on their team hopefully can create a change for them. Hopefully we can see a different type of Cowboys attitude out there on the field, trying to not only win in the regular season because they're good enough to just get by, but getting into the playoffs, having a different mentality. He's even talked to Jerry Jones about it. Jerry Jones has said that they've had those conversations. That, to me, indicates a change, a proactive person that wants to see this team get better, trying to do something about it. Hopefully he continues on this way. And in all honesty, if you're going to choose between Micah and some of these people that don't want him in there, you'd be crazy to not pick Micah Parsons to stick around instead of these people reportedly that don't want him there, that rubs them the wrong way. They're just going to have to get used to it, because most likely Micah's not going anywhere with the Dallas Cowboys. He should be there a long time. Hopefully they see a change with Micah if he produces that sort of reaction. I think he will, but we're going to have to see with the Cowboys how they develop over the offseason. And in saying that, I will leave it there. A bit of a shorter segment just because I had those technical issues. Hopefully it's worked out now. But yeah, in saying that, I'm going to go into another break, the last break of the show. And on the other side, I'm going to talk about Merrill Hodge being very critical of Drake May. Some harsh words that he said recently in the media. I'm going to get to what he said and my breakdown and reaction, if I agree or not with his comments on Drake May. So that's coming up in a few seconds. You're listening to the GSMC Chip Shot Football Podcast.